You're listening to the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. How we doing? How we doing? Caitlin Clark declines three-point contest in the WNBA All-Star game. And rightfully so, Caitlin Clark, I've done my part. I have done my part for the WNBA. And you look at the media and the outcries of how it's being selfish as it's trying to grow the game. Caitlin Clark has done her part. Okay, the WNBA came in and have succeeded 100%. There's no doubt about it. I mean, Caitlin Clark has sold out all the arenas. She's went in there and played 40 minutes a game. I've done my part. There's no more Caitlin Clark can do. And what you got now, it's time for the rest of the ladies to step up. It's time for them to step up and do their part. And the three-point contest is going to succeed, and it doesn't have to have Caitlin Clark in it. It doesn't have to have Ionescu's in it. You are trying to get the other players to become the global ambassadors for the WNBA. And so you got to ask yourself, and I went into it, you know what, for me, it was very, very interesting. And as I bring you this reaction, this is something, you got Cheryl Miller's going to coach them up. Cheryl came out and said, hey, you know what? It's a great opportunity. I'm just not getting paid. This is the first time I've coached in a long time. I haven't got paid. But it's going to be two great minds, a match made in heaven. As you know, for those of you who don't, Cheryl Miller scored 100 points in high school, is also the brother of Reggie Miller, who is an NBA Hall of Famer. So you look at this and you look at what the game has brought and how it's done. And if you look at it, Cheryl Miller is going to take the reins. Now, when you get back to Caitlin Clark being a WNBA All-Star, being there, folks, let's just put it all in perspective. As I went over the amount of games she played and her minutes total, not only is she leading the league, she's leading the league in minutes played. Okay, she committed, she came out and played every game, and then she just backed it up and said, guys, look, I'm tired. I am tired. And I want to give you this reaction because this is Caitlin, and she just letting us know, you know what, I'm tired, guys. I mean, I've done this for you. So take a listen on this one. This is interesting.
Rest. Like, I've been playing basketball for a year straight. Like, it's not an easy thing to just show up to and shoot off of a rack. It's not something I've ever done before. It's not something I've had a lot of time to practice. I've been focusing on helping my team win games. So I think just, enjoying this break. I think there's going to be plenty of opportunities for me to do that at some point. But at the same time, like, the field of shooters that we have in the competition are really good. They're all like near 40% shooters. So I'm excited.
So think about that, folks. She's saying, you know what? I'm tired. I need a break. That's the reaction. And when you look at that, and I go back to Caitlin Clark, and you get here, and you're talking about this, the WNBA, it's a corporate enterprise business, I always tell you. And you look at it, I mean, here's what you got. The WNBA secures $2.2 billion deal. Okay, so that deal's done on the table. Then you got, here comes the union. After the fact, the union could have came out and said we deserve a $10 billion deal. They could have put a number out there. They didn't. And now, after the fact, you secure a deal. Here comes the players' union, says, hey, wait a minute. WNBA players' union is concerned the league is being undervalued in new media rights deal. So you quadruple the deal. And I guess the players' union was looking for a 10x multiple. They haven't really came out. And this is all Caitlin Clark. You got WNBA popularity surge, helps leagues break through contract. WNBA gets $200 million rights deal. I mean, everything, the money's coming in. And it's Caitlin Clark. There's no doubt about it, folks. And when you're talking about, you're dealing with Caitlin Clark, okay, a generational talent, a player who can do even more for the WNBA. Okay, I've done my part. Now it's time for the other women, the existing players, because here's what Caitlin's got to do is she stops in with State Farm. She's going to be working with Gatorade. She's got Wilson. She's got to do all these media commercials. She has to keep working. Okay, a lot of players in the WNBA are going to take a break, and that's going to be the old way the WNBA operated. Okay, it's a new game. It's a new time. We need global ambassadors. We need individuals when we take a break. They're out at camps. They're in the community, and they're growing the WNBA, and that's what Caitlin's doing. And you got 12 teams, take it to 14 teams. You need 13 more global basketball ambassadors. Now, they're going to hook it up. They're going to play this all-star game. Now, this is going to get real interesting because when I get back to you and I talk about Cheryl Miller, one thing about Cheryl Miller, she don't sugarcoat nothing. I mean, she's a straight-up hooper, played over there at SC. And when you look at Cheryl and you start looking back at it and you start saying, well, who is Cheryl Miller and what is Cheryl Miller capable of? Cheryl Miller's just a hooper, okay, just a ball player. I mean, when you're dropping 100 points in a high school game, and the story I'm sure a lot of you have, and maybe some of you haven't, when she got in the car with her brother Reggie. Reggie was a great talent, man. Him and the New York Knicks used to go at it all day long. But I think it was a story that she jumped in the car, and Reggie thought he had 50, thought he had a great game, and Dad had fun with them both. But at the end of the day, after he got explaining his 50 points, he said, Cheryl, how did you do? She said, I had 100. Okay, 100 points in a basketball game, locked it up, okay, with who? Caitlinclark. Okay, so when you talk about I feel the need for speed and buckets and raindrops coming down, that's about what's coming in the WNBA All-Star game. Now, here's what Cheryl said. Cheryl said the WNBA All-Stars, she made it plain, and this is Cheryl Miller. Ain't no doubt about it. She knows the game. She made it plain. Good shot by Getty Images. Here's what you got. She said the WNBA All-Stars want to beat the brakes off of Team USA. Okay, so that one there is going to get interesting. I imagine it won't get that intense because the main players are sitting out, because at the end of the day, the younger players who are coming in, they are rocking and rolling, and they are basically getting this one done. And when you get into it, man, and you got so much deciding on this that you forget from the fact that you got some stuff you got to complete, and you just got to make it for the best of the best. And when you do that, you just got to know that this is how it works, and this is how you put it together. And when you're looking at All-Stars, you just got to bring them all together, and you got to make them be the best they're going to be. I mean, this is the WNBA All-Star game, so I can't wait on it. I'm excited. I can't wait to see them take the court and see how that's going to work. I can't wait to see Caitlin play with other players who are all-stars, who are getting it done and know how to get it done. And when you talk about it, this is the deal. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. We're powered up by Fanatics. We're bringing it to you, and we're just letting you know that nothing but good stuff is going to happen. And I see this might be one of the most watched games of the WNBA, because this is going to see where the talent lies, who's good, who's not, and who's sitting at the top of their game. Is it going to be Caitlinclark, Jewel Lloyd? I mean, how are they going to match up, and how are they going to get things done? I don't know, but I'm excited for it only because this gives us an opportunity to do things just a little differently. And when you can do things differently, folks, I tell you what, you can go out there and you can have fun. You can enjoy the game. You don't have to worry about it. You got everything's going to be in good hands, and that's just the way it works. So when you get these guys who are really good at what they do, and they're the best of the best, that's when you start seeing, hey, you know what? I've got something here, and I'll just bring it to you. You talk about Jeff Swartz. You want to know who he is, Excel Sports Management. You want to know what he does. I mean, this guy's got he's a walking pen. You got two of the top in the brand. Okay, you got Clutch Sports. Okay, standing on the top, and you got Jeff Swartz, XL Sports Management, sitting there with Paul Pierce. And when you get a superstar, you've got to put him in the right place, right position, and you got to manage that. And so for Caitlinclark, as Jeff Swartz and everybody as a team get together and they communicate, what's Caitlin going to do? Caitlinclark has done her part. She has done her part in the WNBA. She has lifted them up. She has carried it. She has played 40 minutes of basketball each and every night, many occasions. She has set records, and now she says, I want to let somebody else do it. I'm going to take my time. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast, and we always tell you all things are possible to those who believe. We'll wrap it up by telling you Caitlinclark has decided and declined. She's going to play the game, the three-point shot, but I've done my part. And she is rightfully and so in saying so. We'll see you soon. And again, the WNBA is fantastic.